Have you ever felt like life was slipping through your fingers? Like the world around you is moving faster than you can process? Chaotic, uncertain, overwhelming? Maybe you've asked yourself, what's the point? What am I even doing here? It's a question as old as humanity itself. And one of the philosophers who faced this question head on was Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche lived in the 19th century, in a time when the old religious structures of Europe were collapsing. Certainties that had guided people for centuries were crumbling. Science was advancing. Traditions were eroding. And people were left asking the same question many of us ask today, without the old answers. What gives life meaning? Nietzsche's response wasn't easy. In fact, it was shocking. He declared, God is dead. But what he meant was not that a deity had literally died, but that the old foundations of meaning, the traditional systems of belief, no longer held power in the modern world. And without them, humanity risked falling into nihilism, the belief that nothing matters, that life has no purpose. Nietzsche saw the danger clearly. When people lose meaning, they drift. They fall into despair, distraction, or conformity. And yet, he didn't stop there. Nietzsche's philosophy was not about despair, but about transformation. His challenge to us was this: if old meanings are gone, then we must create new ones. Think about your own life. Have you ever tried to live by someone else's expectations? By society's scripts? By the voices that tell you what success is supposed to look like? Today, those voices are louder than ever. Social media shows us constant highlights of other people's lives. Polished, filtered, perfected. You're told you need the right career, the right body, the right lifestyle to matter. But does it ever feel like chasing all that leaves you emptier than before? Nietzsche would say, those aren't your values. They're borrowed, inherited, passed down, unquestioned. When those borrowed values fail, when the job, the money, the approval of others doesn't bring joy, we often feel lost, empty. Nietzsche described this emptiness as nihilism, not just depression, not just sadness, but the hollow feeling that life itself has no purpose. And isn't this what so many people feel today? Burned out at work, drowning in comparison online, distracted but unfulfilled. Deep down, disconnected. Nietzsche's words from 150 years ago ring true in our modern world. So what did he propose? Nietzsche said, if the old meanings are gone, then it's on us, on you, on me, to create our own. But here's the hard truth. Creating meaning isn't passive. It doesn't come from waiting, from hoping, or from following someone else's map. It comes from action, from choice, from courage. Nietzsche believed each of us carries within us a force he called the will to power, not the will to dominate others, as it's often misunderstood, but the drive to grow, to expand, to overcome obstacles, and to shape life. Think of it like this. Modern culture often tells us our purpose is to consume, buy more, upgrade, scroll endlessly. But Nietzsche would challenge that. He would say, your purpose is not consumption, it is creation. Think about how a plant grows toward the sun, pushing through soil, breaking rocks, reaching for light. Nietzsche would say, that's the will to power in nature, the force of life itself striving upward. In you. It shows up as ambition, as creativity, as the hunger to make something of your life. It's the reason you get back up after failure. It's the reason you keep searching when things fall apart. And here's the hope. Even in chaos, that force is alive in you. Even when you feel lost, part of you is reaching forward, hungry for growth. From this idea, Nietzsche gave us one of his most famous concepts, the Übermensch, often translated as the Overman or Superman. The Übermensch is not about being a superhuman, stronger or faster than others. It's about becoming someone who creates values instead of inheriting them. Someone who doesn't just accept the world as it is, but dares to say yes to life on their own terms. Today, that could mean stepping outside the career path everyone expects of you and choosing a path that feels authentic. It could mean rejecting a culture of endless comparison and defining success on your own terms. It could mean building meaning in small acts of creation, even when the world doesn't hand you a ready-made answer. The Übermensch is a symbol of self-overcoming. For Nietzsche, this was the alternative to nihilism. If nothing has meaning by default, then the task of the higher person is to give meaning to their life, to create, to shape, to live authentically. And isn't this what so many of us are searching for today? To stop pretending, to stop living for approval, to start living for what truly matters to us. But Nietzsche didn't stop there. He knew life wasn't just about joy, creation, or power. He knew suffering was unavoidable. So he gave us another phrase, amor fati, the love of fate. Not just accepting your life, but loving it, every moment, even the pain, the failures, the losses. And this is where his message feels most radical for our times. Today we're taught to avoid discomfort at all costs. Quick fixes, instant gratification, numbing with entertainment, substances, endless distraction. But Nietzsche invites us to do the opposite, to face suffering, embrace it, and transform it into strength. Nietzsche himself lived with constant illness, migraines, and isolation. Yet he transformed his suffering into philosophy. He turned his pain into strength. Amor fati is not about pretending everything is pleasant. It's about saying, this too is part of my story, and I will use it. Imagine if instead of resenting your struggles, you could embrace them as the very fuel of your growth. That's amor fati. So how do we take all this, will to power, Übermensch, amor fati, and use it in our own chaotic world? Here are some ways. Stop waiting for meaning to arrive. Meaning is not given. It's created. Ask yourself, what matters to me? What do I want to stand for? Practice self-overcoming. Each time you face a challenge, see it as a chance to rise above your old self. Growth comes through struggle. Embrace amor fati. Instead of saying, why me? Say, yes. Even this pain will become part of my strength. Create values. Don't just follow what culture tells you to want. Choose your own markers of a life well lived. This isn't easy. Nietzsche never promised it would be. But it's hopeful, because it means you are not powerless. Even in chaos, you can choose, you can shape, you can create. So let's return to the question, how do we find meaning in a chaotic world? Nietzsche's answer was radical. Stop looking for it outside. Begin creating it inside. Life is uncertain. It always will be. But within that uncertainty lies freedom. You're not just a product of the world. You are a creator within it. Nietzsche's message wasn't despair, but a challenge. Don't wait for meaning to fall into your lap. Dare to craft it. Dare to live it. He left us with this invitation. Become who you are. So ask yourself, what meaning will you create? Here, in the midst of the chaos. This is Unthink, exploring timeless wisdom to help us live more fully, more courageously, more whole.